Come closer. The shadows have missed you, and tonight they have a new story to tell. Welcome to Scary Stories After Dark. The old house on Macabre Street groaned like something alive. Wind hissed through its broken shutters, and the porch light swung on its cord, flicking in the fog. Caleb Murney, town carpenter and part-time local legend repairman, wiped the rain from his flashlight lens. "Easy fix," he muttered, stepping over a fallen "Keep Out" sign. His boot cracked a patch of glass. The sound echoed too long, as if the house had swallowed it. He didn't believe in the stories. Kids vanish, adults vanish. There's always an explanation. Rotten floorboards, bad luck. But as he crossed the threshold, the temperature dropped so hard his breath turned to smoke. Inside smelled like rust and dirt and something sweet rotting beneath it. The walls were coated in peeling floral wallpaper, bubbled and pulsing faintly where water damage had set in. He raised his light and froze. Fingerprints, dozens of them, small, smeared, trailing across the wall toward the stairs. "Hello?" His voice barely carried. The beam jittered with his shaking hand. Somewhere upstairs, a door clicked shut. He climbed one creaking step at a time. The boards flexed like ribs beneath him. Halfway up, his flashlight flickered, and something moved on the landing. A shape tall enough to scrape the ceiling, shoulders hunched, the outline crowned with what looked like branches. The light sputtered out. He hit it against his palm, once, twice. A dim halo came back just in time to see the shape standing at the bottom of the stairs now. Not moving. Not breathing. "Who's there?" The thing didn't answer. Instead, 3 knocks came from inside the wall behind him, slow, wet, hollow. Caleb turned, whispering, "Jesus," and lifted his light again. The wallpaper was bulging outward, swelling like something beneath it wanted out. The first tear opened with a sound like fabric and meat. He screamed. The flashlight hit the floor, rolling, catching the glint of a single eye before everything went black. The front door creaked open on its own. Outside, the porch light swayed once, twice, then went still. Halloween morning cracked open under a sky the color of cold ash. In Halloweenville, that was a compliment. The town lived for this day. Every porch was drowning in fake cobwebs and inflatable ghosts. The air smelled like burning pumpkins and cheap caramel. Retta leaned against her car, flicking through her camcorder footage. "Breaking news," she narrated into the lens. "Local teens still stupid, still planning to die for clout." "Put that thing down," Reese groaned, tugging her flannel tighter. "I'm not dying on YouTube. At least let me look good on Dateline." Hollow snorted. "Bold of you to assume anyone would investigate. We'd just be unsolved weirdos between Bigfoot sightings." Vlad, holding a bucket of fun-sized candy bars, grinned. Speak for yourself, bro. I'm the town's hottest missing person waiting to happen. They cracked up. It was the kind of laughter you cling to when something darker hums underneath. Every October, they told each other the same legend. Don't knock on the door of the house on Macabre Street. No one knew who started it. No one dared test it. Until this year. Retta shut her camcorder and squinted down the street. The fog there never lifted. It clung to the cracked pavement like it had roots. That's it, she said quietly. The house. The others followed her gaze. Even in daylight, the place looked wrong, roof lines sagging, paint leached to bone, front door warped with old rot. Someone had nailed wooden boards over the windows, but a dim orange glow pulsed behind them like candlelight. Reese swallowed. So, remind me again why we're doing this? Because we made a pact, Vlad said. Graduation, one last dare, one last Halloween in this dump before we scatter to college and adult misery. Hollow added, also, because apparently we have no survival instincts. Retta smirked, filming their faces. Legends don't scare people who've survived calculus. But even through the jokes, there was a flicker of unease between them. The missing kids, the carpenter, the way the police had stopped answering calls about the house altogether. The fog down the block stirred, just a ripple like breath. Reese nudged Hollow. Did you see that? Probably a squirrel. Yeah, Vlad said. A 7-foot squirrel with glowing windows. Retta zoomed the camcorder in, heartbeat drumming in her ears. The porch light of the macabre house blinked on, off, on again. A pattern. Knock, knock, knock. Except none of them had moved. The laughter died. Tomorrow night, Retta whispered, lowering the camera. We do it tomorrow night. And somewhere deep in that fog, something seemed to lean closer, as if listening. The fog rolled in before sunset, swallowing the sidewalks, the jack-o'-lanterns, the laughter. It turned Halloweenville quiet. By 8 o'clock, Retta's car idled at the curb of Macabre Street. The air smelled like wet leaves and something metallic. Inside the car, Reese drummed on the dashboard. Still time to back out, she said. Vlad grinned. Nope, the people demand a hero. The people, Hollow said, demand therapy. Retta aimed her camcorder through the windshield. The house waited at the end of the block, half hidden by fog, its porch light blinking like a dying heartbeat. She zoomed in. Okay, intro take 2, 4 idiots, 1 haunted house, no adult supervision. They laughed, but none of them met her eyes. When they stepped out, the cold hit hard. The fog curled around their ankles as if curious. Leaves stuck to the wet pavement, slick under their sneakers. Smells like something died, Vlad said. Maybe you left a protein shake in the car again, Reese muttered. They made it halfway down the street before they realized the neighborhood had gone too still. No wind, no crickets, no hum from streetlights, just the soft crunch of their footsteps and, somewhere distant, a rhythmic tapping like knuckles on wood. Please tell me that's you, Hollow said. Not it, Retta whispered. The porch appeared from the fog, stairs sagging under age. The front door loomed a dull, blistered red. A broken "no trespassing" sign dangled by a nail. Retta lifted her camera. "This is it." Vlad stepped beside her, puffing up his chest. "One knock, quick and easy, then we grab candy and brag rights." Reese hissed, "You knock, Vlad." He grinned. "Ladies first." Coward? Retta looked at the others, heart pounding so loud she could feel it in her teeth. 3 knocks, right? That's what the legend says? Hollow nodded, swallowing. 3. If you knock more, it answers. Answers what? He didn't reply. Retta reached out, knuckles hovering inches from the wood. For a heartbeat, she thought she saw her reflection in the door's sheen until it blinked. She stumbled back. There's something. Fog messes with light, Reese said too fast. Just do it. Retta raised her hand again. Knock, knock, knock. Silence. Then, somewhere inside, a creak, like someone shifting their weight. Vlad whispered, "It's probably just the..." The porch light flickered once, then went out. The door unlatched itself. A warm gust of air breathed out from the darkness. Wet, sour animal. The camcorder's mic crackled. Reese said, "That's not wind." The front door opened wider. Inside, blackness rippled like water. Retta's voice trembled. "If anyone's in there, this is private property. We'll just, leave now." Something moved, a scrape, a step. The floorboards groaned, slow and heavy, until the sound stopped just behind the threshold. "Did you see it?" Hollow whispered. "No," Retta breathed, "but it saw us." Behind them, the fog began to crawl up the porch steps, thick as smoke. Then, from inside, 3 knocks back. The door didn't open all the way. It breathed open like the house exhaled and the hinges followed. A warm rot rolled out over them. Vlad forced a laugh that cracked halfway through. "Smells like gym socks and roadkill." "Stay close," Retta said. Her camcorder light stuttered across warped wallpaper, dust in the beam like floating ash. The 4 stepped inside. The door shut behind them with a soft click. Reese spun. "Did you..." "It closed itself," Hollow whispered. The handle wouldn't turn. A single bulb burned at the end of the hallway, swinging on its cord. Every time it moved, the shadows along the walls twitched like they were alive. Retta lifted the camera. "Okay, weird, but fine. She stopped. The hallway was longer than it had been a second ago, stretching. "Guys." Vlad's voice echoed, smaller than before. "What's with the floor?" They looked down. The boards were soft underfoot, not rotten, spongy, as if breathing. Each step made a faint suction sound. Hollow knelt, poked a gap with his flashlight, and froze. "What is it?" Reese asked. He swallowed. "That's not dirt." The beam revealed something pale and ridged beneath the floorboards, like ribs curving with the planks. "Okay, cool, body house, love that for us," Vlad muttered. Retta tried the camera again, zooming in. "Please tell me this is a prank." In her viewfinder, something flickered at the end of the corridor. Tall, thin, motionless. She pulled the camera down. Nothing there. Then, bang. A door slammed somewhere upstairs. Reese jumped. That came from the carpenter's room. He was fixing a window, remember? Retta nodded, forcing herself forward. Let's find it. They reached the staircase. Every step shrieked. The banister was sticky. Hollow wiped his hand on his jeans and stared at the smear. Dark red. Not paint, he said softly. Upstairs, the hallway was lined with broken picture frames. The glass glittered under their flashlights. In one, a face had been scratched out so violently the paper tore through. Vlad pointed. There's something written here. On the wallpaper, scrawled in black, were the words, "Don't knock back." Reese's breath hitched. What does that... A noise cut her off, a slow drag, like heavy limbs sliding along the floorboards above them. They tilted their lights upward. The ceiling bulged. Retta whispered, "Run." Something crashed through the plaster, huge, faceless, dripping black fluid that hissed when it hit the floor. It had the vague outline of a man, but its arms hung too long and its skin gleamed like wet bark. They scattered, screaming. The creature lurched after them, joints snapping backward, mouth a jagged hole that howled like a storm drain. Retta bolted into a room and slammed the door. Her light swept over piles of junk, rusted tools, broken toys, something half covered by a tarp. She lifted the edge and dropped it instantly. Underneath lay a heap of human remains, a carpenter's tool belt, a torn work shirt, and bones, half-eaten, gnawed clean. Her scream tore through the house. Out in the hall, Reese shouted, "Retta, run!" The creature's shadow rose up the wall, stretching toward the ceiling. Retta stumbled backward, clutching the camera, as the lens caught the monster turning toward her. Its face was a blur, skin rippling, half human, half wood, and when it opened its mouth, the sound was a knock. Knock, knock, knock. Then the light died. The house woke up. That's how it felt. Every wall throbbed with sound, low, wet pulses like a heartbeat too close to the ear. Dust poured from the ceiling as if the place were breathing out. Retta, Reese's scream cracked through the hall. "I'm here!" Retta burst from the doorway, clutching the camcorder. The lens was cracked but still recording, red light blinking. "It's real, it's real, it's real." "Where's Vlad?" Hollow shouted. They spun, empty hallway. His flashlight lay spinning in a corner, beam bouncing across the floorboards that now rippled underfoot. "Vlad!" Reese yelled. "Stop screwing around!" A muffled thud answered, then a dragging sound. "Basement," Hollow whispered. "It's pulling him down." The four, now three, ran for the staircase. But the layout had changed. The stairwell no longer led to the front door. It curled into a narrow tunnel lined with wallpaper that pulsed like veins. Reese gripped Retta's arm. "This isn't possible." "Neither are talking houses," Retta hissed. Something groaned behind them. The boards under their shoes bulged upward, and a hand broke through. A human one, grasping blindly, flesh stretched over bone, nails clawing air. They screamed and stumbled back. The hand sank again, swallowed whole. "Run," Hollow gasped. "Run before..." The floor gave out. They crashed into darkness, tumbling into the basement. Retta's flashlight cracked against concrete, light rolling across the space. The beam caught piles of... Shoes, hundreds of them, some tiny, some soaked dark. Bones littered the corners like discarded shells, a carpenter's hammer, a torn yellow raincoat. Reese gagged, clutching her stomach. Oh my God, it eats them. The house moaned, deep and angry. Pipes rattled overhead. Retta pointed the camera upward. The lens caught something dripping through the cracks, a thick black fluid sliding down in threads. Each drop hit the floor and moved, spreading like living tar. "Don't touch it," Hollow yelled, pulling her back. The tar gathered, slithering toward the center of the room, merging into shape. A torso first, then arms, then the outline of a head. Tall, angular, faceless except for a gaping hole where its mouth should be. Reese whispered, "That's what knocks, isn't it?" The creature turned toward them, joints cracking backward. It opened its mouth. Knock. The walls shook. Knock. The ceiling cracked. Knock. Light exploded. They ran, up rusted stairs that changed direction mid-climb, down hallways that bent wrong. Doors opened to brick walls. Windows showed only more rooms. The house was folding itself, corner by corner, trapping them. Retta's camcorder flickered, battery dying. The final frame caught a glimpse through a doorway. Vlad, or what was left of him, strung in the wall like a trophy, his face half swallowed, one eye frozen open. Reese yanked her away. "Don't look, don't." The door slammed behind them. They collapsed in a living room that wasn't there before. A fireplace burned green flame. The wallpaper was covered in names, hundreds of them, every missing person in Halloweenville. Retta traced a trembling finger over the last one, scrawled, "R-E-T-A-B." She blinked. "That's me." A sound crawled up behind them, slow, sticky steps, wood bending with each movement. Hollow whispered, "It's writing the names before it finishes us." The flames guttered. From the dark doorway, a voice that wasn't human whispered back, "Knock, knock." The house groaned. It wasn't just sound anymore, it was pressure. The air pressed against their skin like a living thing, humming low and wet, vibrating deep in their bones. Retta shoved Reese and Hollow toward the center of the room. "We can't stay here." The wallpaper pulsed, the faces printed in the flowers twisted, warping into human expressions, mouths stretching, eyes blinking where there shouldn't be any. Hollow swung his flashlight in frantic circles. There, the window. It wasn't a window anymore. It melted, glass dripping like syrup, the outside world warping behind it. He grabbed a chair and threw it. The chair sank into the wall, swallowed whole, and the surface shivered, almost pleased. Something shifted above them, boards split open like jaws. "Run!" Retta screamed. They bolted through a door that shouldn't exist. The hall twisted like the inside of a throat, walls slick, carpet spongy. A chandelier swung wildly overhead, dripping something black and warm. Reese stumbled. "It's everywhere." "Keep moving," Retta yelled, dragging her up. Her camera swung from her wrist, lens cracked, recording nothing but static and flashes of horror. Bones fused to the wallpaper, furniture twitching, a ceiling fan spinning with teeth. Behind them, the creature followed, a tall, impossible silhouette dragging itself along the walls, its limbs dissolving into black threads that stitched new hallways as it crawled. It was the house. The house was it. Hollow gasped. "It's feeding." Every door they passed opened on flashes of horror. A dining room with chairs carved from human spines, a bathtub full of hair and teeth, a mirror that reflected only the creature standing behind them. Reese screamed. A wall snapped open like a mouth and swallowed her whole. Retta lunged, but Hollow yanked her back. "It's too late. Move!" The house convulsed, groaning, boards cracking like ribs. They sprinted down the last hallway, Retta's lungs burning, eyes streaming from the stench. Ahead, a faint orange glow, the foyer, the front door. "Go!" Hollow shouted. They hit the door together. It didn't budge. Then a shape slammed into the window beside it. Reese's hand clawing, blood smearing the glass. Her mouth opened in a silent scream as something yanked her backward. The glass rippled and sealed. "No!" Retta beat on the door, sobbing. "Let us out, please." Behind her, Hollow whispered, "Retta." She turned. He was staring up. The ceiling above them was bending down, folding inward, wooden beams splitting to reveal rows of teeth. The house was closing. They dove aside as the ceiling collapsed, snapping shut where they'd stood. Dust exploded through the room. Retta hit the floor, ears ringing, world spinning. When she looked up, the creature loomed in the smoke, taller than the room, faceless except for that cavernous mouth. It reached toward her, fingers branching into black roots. Hollow tackled her aside, screaming, "Run!" The creature caught him mid-lunge, lifting him by the neck. His scream cut off, bones cracked, the walls drank in the sound. "No!" Retta crawled toward the shattered front door, half blind, dragging herself through splinters and blood. Her hand found the latch. It moved. Outside, the fog churned, waiting. Behind her, the creature slammed against the threshold, unable to cross. It knocked once, then twice, then a third time. The porch light flickered. Retta staggered out into the fog, collapsing in the street. The door closed behind her with a final soft click. The house went still. Retta didn't remember running. One minute she was on her knees in the fog, the next she was stumbling barefoot down Macabre Street, her throat raw from screaming. Behind her, the house stood quiet. The porch light glowed a weak, honey-colored pulse, slow, steady, like a heartbeat fading into sleep. She turned once, camera still dangling from her wrist, and whispered, "Reese, Hollow." Nothing answered, only the wind and the faint sound of something breathing behind the walls. By the time Retta reached the corner, the first porch lights of Halloweenville were flicking on again. The night had reset, ordinary, harmless. She collapsed on the sidewalk in front of a jack-o'-lantern display, sobbing, face streaked with grime and ash. Footsteps. A shape moved through the fog, a man in a police uniform. "Miss, you all right?" She tried to speak, words catching on air. "Inside, it's alive. The house." He knelt, shining a flashlight over her. His badge read D. Holbrook. "You came from Macabre Street?" She nodded. "It killed them. Everyone." He exhaled slowly. "You're lucky you made it out." The way he said it didn't sound like comfort. Retta's shaking hands clutched the camcorder. She hit play. The cracked lens flickered. Static, distortion, snippets of movement. Reese's scream, Hollow's flashlight spinning, then an image of the front door, closed tight. And through the window, faces, dozens, pressed against the glass from inside. The officer's jaw clenched. You shouldn't have gone in there. Retta's eyes widened. You knew. He stood. Everyone in town knows. That's why we don't knock. She backed away. You let people die. He didn't answer. The flashlight beam swept across the fog, revealing another figure down the street. Mr. Kell, the hardware store owner, standing in his doorway, staring silently. Then another, the strange neighbor across from the house, arms crossed, watching. One by one, more figures appeared. Neighbors, store clerks, even a mail carrier, all emerging quietly, faces pale in the moonlight. All of them facing Macabre Street. The officer said softly, "It's hungry every year. Somebody always knocks, and if nobody does." He trailed off. The fog behind him moved. The porch light at the end of Macabre Street flickered back on. Retta staggered backward, shaking her head. No, no more. The officer's eyes glowed faintly in the light. Don't worry, you made it out. You'll tell the story. You'll keep the door alive. She turned and ran, past the carved pumpkins, past the paper skeletons, past everything that once felt like home. Her camera's battery died just as dawn cracked over the rooftops. The last frame it caught was the house on Macabre Street, small in the distance, its front door slowly opening to greet the morning.